Happy Motivational Monday, my friends. Episode number 285 of the Thadcast. And it's like story day. It's motivational day. It's let's just do this thing. Let's just do this thing. So I've been reading the book Dream Big by Bob Goff, and I've been reading it for like 16 years. It feels like a couple of months. Hey, listen, talk about neglecting your reading. Usually I whiz through a book in about a week or two. Although I would say the past 2 years that hasn't been the case. I used to be like that. Now I'm like, I can read a page today. So it takes me like 280 days to read a book. I'll forgive myself if you'll forgive me too, okay? Anyway, actually yesterday I read a ton, and this book is so good. One of the chapters was talking about our relationships and the value we put on each other and being part of their story and their dreams. And today in the year 2020, it's a weird year, but something else that's been going on for the past several years is the way that we kind of scale each other, the way that we kind of judge each other, we kind of label each other. This has been going on for a while now. Like, we're all set up in our labels right now. Me, white evangelical conservative, living in the whitest state in America, in Brentwood, New Hampshire, right? I mean, we just got our labels, you hear it all the time when people talk about voter demographics. You've got your white, uneducated voters. Then you've got your suburban women voters. And then you've got your African-American inner city community. And then you've just got all these different groups, and we're just like pigeonholed in. And I want to encourage us to break out fast of that mindset and to see the value that God has placed on each and every one of us. And if we take it a step back and we go back to the value that God's put on us and not the value that man puts on us, we start in a much better place within our relationships. Let me give you an example of someone who a lot of people did not put the right value on in a conversation. The Peloton, this information crossed my path over the weekend. The Peloton CEO contacted 400 firms and over 3,000 angel investors before he got people to invest in his idea. All he was trying to raise was $400,000 to start a company called Peloton. That's it. And if you and I think about that today, I mean, holy cow. Today, Peloton is worth $20 billion. And this has been their biggest year by far in ways they probably never dreamed. COVID has flipped that business into a monster because of all the in-home stuff, all the in-home workouts they can do. The moral of the story, when I came across this was on LinkedIn. The person says the moral of the story is never stop fighting for what you believe in, right? This guy got 3,400 rejections. That's a great moral of the story in part one. But I think part two is this. The other moral of the story in this is to value everyone who comes across your path. Value who they are as an individual, not as a demographic. Value their dreams, value their potential. Even if you don't see their potential, value it anyway, because that is the way that God treats you. That is the way that you desire to be treated, right? Like, we've got all these checks and balances. We've got all this, I have to have discernment here. Hey, listen, you don't have to have discernment to be nice and encouraging to someone, do you? No. I mean, think of it this way. In Jesus' time, and when he was walking around, who were the people who were running up to him? Lepers? To talk about causing chaos and confusion, having a leper come up to you, right? And the crowd's like, they're gone, right? The disciples are like, whoa, I'm standing back, and Jesus is right there talking to him. I think we probably get the best example of this when children come up to him, children who are very much devalued in their society. And Jesus went off. He's like, y'all do not keep the kids from coming up to see me. And the disciples were trying to do that. And Jesus called them out on their face right there in front of everybody. And the children came up to Jesus, and he spent time with the children. And that's who Jesus was. He was one who valued every single person who crossed his path. And he made examples of people that people had no idea of their faith. I mean, look at the disciples. I mean, my gosh, what a ragtag group of nobodies in that culture today. In the meantime, the somebodies in the culture can't seem to get in line with Jesus. They can't seem to connect this all together, right? They're off. There's something off in this relationship. And I think it infuriates the Pharisees so much because everyone else in the culture gave them dignity and honor and respect. And Jesus is treating them like everyone else. And they're saying, no bueno. We get treated better. We're superior to everyone else. We're better than them. And it's that mindset that is hurting our culture today so much. It's the personal mindset that we have that our cause is more important. What we believe in matters more than other people. Now, as a follower of Jesus, I know there's nothing more important than the gospel of Jesus. But this story is made available for all, for everyone, no matter who you are. And that's the beauty of the gospel. The gospel humanizes everyone. It puts us all on the exact same level before God and treats each of us with the dignity and respect we all deserve. It doesn't classify us in certain ways. It classifies us only as mankind with a sinful heart who needs a glorious, miraculous, encouraging, and all-powerful Savior to forgive us of our sins and to just bring us into this space of following him and of being encouraged every day by the truth of Jesus. This is why the gospel is the cure for these times and the hardships and the dehumanizations that we see across the board. And it's gotten tough. Social media has done a number on your head and my head too. And we've allowed everyone else to tell us how to classify each other and how to treat each other and who's of value and who's of not. And then all of a sudden, this person turns their life around. You're like, hey, I want to be cool with you now. Hey, you know what? Let's just be cool with each other right now where we are. I bet those angel investors in firms wish they would have had a shot at a company like Peloton today. $20 billion. And this one guy was willing to get 3,400 rejections to get there. How many rejections are you willing to get today to achieve your dreams and your goals? How much value do you put on your dreams and your passions and your gifts and your goals? Or do you have this voice in your head just talking you down, telling you you ain't good enough? This person has got better skills than you, or this company is better than your idea. And this is, hey, listen, also from the book Dream Big, but Bob Goff talks about it on his podcast. Comparison is a punk. Comparison is a punk. It's nothing but a punk. We should get the hoodie. If there's a hoodie out there, and Bob Goff says that too, we should have hoodies made that say comparison is a punk. Don't go off comparing your dreams, your goal, your life, all this stuff to someone else. What a colossal waste of time, and it stops you from being the best that God created you to be. It's interesting because I have this thing in my head, and if I'm on this path and I'm doing something, what I'm actually waiting for is the first negative response. I'll give you an example. So yesterday, I've been praying about people's marriages lately, and before COVID started, I had decided to become a relationship coach. I've been doing this actually on my own and for free for years, so why not make it official and actually build a business off of this idea where I can truly help people with the skills I've developed? So I did a video yesterday because I've been concerned about people's marriages, just something to add value to people in their relationships and how to communicate with each other in times of conflict. And today, guess what happened? I got trolled. A friend of mine who kind of trolls me sometimes, he's a nice guy. He's a very nice person. He's just having a hard time, I think, right now. He is having a hard time right now. Just kind of put up kind of a trolling comment, a little bit demeaning in nature. And as soon as that happened, I knew that was the point of discouragement in the story. That's the point of Arch, where if we're the protagonist, if we're playing the hero's role in our own life, right? Because sometimes we need to do that too, okay? That's where we say, okay, that's the first shot. That means I get over that. That's my first obstacle, is to get over the emotional side of somebody taking a shot at you. That's where we start. And I'm fired up now because I knew that was going to happen. And I knew that someone was going to make some type of comment at some point about this, and there'll be more. Most of them may come from my own head, right? And my own disbelief that I'm supposed to be a relationship coach, or that these are the gifts and skills that God has given me to impact people in a positive way, right? So the part of the story here that's really important for us today in our Motivational Monday is to expect rejection. That's part of the story. But if you're on the side of getting rejected, just know that's part of the story, and it's something you're going to have to overcome. But if you're on the other side, before you reject someone, place a value, a really important value that God puts on them. Look at them as somebody who is wonderfully created in the image of God, and give them as much grace and encouragement as you can. It doesn't mean that you'll necessarily be able to write them a check, but you just go ahead and you feed into those dreams. You feed into those dreams and those goals in whatever way you can. Okay, you may not be able to give them money. If you can, and God has blessed you, I would encourage you to think about it. All right, but you can definitely play the role of coming alongside someone and valuing them, especially the people that are hard to show value to, especially the people that are more difficult. Those are the people that you want to find. Those are the people that you want to spend time with and that you want to encourage. Okay? You got to have them in your life. If you don't have them in your life, you're screwing up. So go find them today. And when you do this, when you give back in this way, you will be blessed over and over and over and over again. It may not be monetarily, but the joy in your heart for encouraging someone else will make all the difference. Don't be like these people who reject people just to reject people, right? Do things in a way that is motivating and encouraging for everyone around you in your life. And if you get rejected, just know that's obstacle number one. The devil is here to cast shadow and doubt over your dreams. That's a big part of his story. Our part is trusting in God with all of our heart, not leaning on our own understanding, and stepping forward and getting after it with the gifts and abilities he's given you today. And I hope you'll do it. I hope you will do it this week with a newfound fire and determination and courage to get over that hump and to keep pushing and to keep going. And may God bless you on your journey and as you're living out the gifts and talents that he's given you. Oh, I'm so fired up for you, my friends. I'm so fired up. And that is it. That is it for episode 285 of the Thadcast. As always, if you could do a review on iTunes, that helps me more than you know. And if you could share this with a friend, if you think it'll encourage them, do that today too, if you could. Anyway, that's it for this episode. Thank you so much for taking time out of your day to join me. And until next time, my dear friends, may you be blessed.